Hello everyone, it's Rita and welcome to Toddler Tuesday. I'm so excited to be back here with another activity. I hope you are all well and healthy and happy. This activity is so much fun, but I will let you know that it can get a little bit messy, so you may want to do it somewhere where a cleanup is simple to do after you're finished with the activity. And the activity is called plastic bag printing. That's right. We are going to be printing using plastic bags. So plastic bags are still all over the place, and this is a really great activity for you to do to recycle them and to repurpose them and to just create something really beautiful out of them. So hopefully you still have a couple laying around your home. I have chosen, well, these are the ones that I have. They're very light-weighted, but you can use any plastic bag. You can use the thicker ones, the thinner ones, the coloured ones, the non-coloured ones, anything you have laying around your home. Now, materials you will need: plastic bags, and you will also need some scissors to cut up your plastic bags. You will need paint, so we're using kind of a thicker kind of paint today, a water-based acrylic paint, nothing too fancy, but just something with some body. We will also be needing some brushes to mix the paint, paper, any paper as usual. So today I'm using regular photocopier paper, which is a light-weighted paper, just a white paper, and I'm also using a bit of card paper, which is a stronger paper, and it's a coloured paper. So any paper you have around your home. We'll be using a sponge, and if you don't have a sponge, I'm sure you do, and if you go to the kitchen you will find a sponge, so maybe you can use a sponge from the kitchen. If you don't have a sponge, it's okay, you can use the paintbrush, so I'll show you how to do it with the paintbrush too. You will also need materials to draw and to make your drawings with. So I have chosen Q-tips, which are very simple to use, and they're great for what we're doing. So you can use this, you can use a stick, you can use your finger, you can use a leaf, you can use anything that leaves an impression. You'll see in a minute. So I think that's all the material. Oh, and some tape additional that I will show you how we can use it later on. So plastic bag printing is a lot of fun, and I will show you how we are doing it. But first I'll show you some examples, and then I'll take you through the process of making one. So plastic bag printing is, like the name says, it's using a plastic bag to print an image. So we are coating the plastic bag with some paint, then we will leave an impression on the plastic bag and on that paint, and then we will transfer that plastic bag with the impression or the drawing onto a piece of paper. So here's an example that I did. Here's a little flower, on that card paper that I talked to you about. And here's another example. And on this work, and what makes this work really interesting, I think, and that you can give a go at home, is that on this side is the actual print of the plastic bag, and on that side I have also added and pasted onto my piece of paper the plastic bag that I used to make that print. So we are seeing symmetrical images. So if we folded this piece of paper, this is what would happen. So I think that's a really fun and interesting way to use both the print and the material that helped you make the print. But now I am going to show you how to make these prints. So the first thing you will need is to grab a piece of paper, and I might grab one of those thicker pieces of paper that I mentioned and just pop it here. And then obviously you'll need a piece of plastic that I have already cut up, and that's why you need the scissors. So I have already cut up my pieces of plastic into rectangles that aren't too big, aren't too small. It's good to make them quite small because this is a bit of a fiddly activity, especially if you're outside with the wind. So you may want to do it inside. But keeping your plastic bag, your piece of plastic bag small just helps you doing the print and transferring the print. So maybe start small and then you can adventure out on bigger pieces of plastic. So here's my plastic, and I'm going to just pop it here. Pop it here on my table. And now that sponge that I talked about. So here is my sponge, and I'm just going to dip it into the paint, or with the help of a brush, I am going to gently just spread paint all around my spongy surface. So once it's like that. So once I've seen that it's kind of happy and already colored, I am going to transfer this paint onto the plastic bag. So you can either just, like a brush, you can use the sponge as a brush, and you can just kind of drag and kind of pencil, not pencil, kind of brush it on, or you can kind of do stamps. So I'll show you how it looks. It looks quite different if you use one or the other technique. On this side, if you see the circles, I'm using the sponge as a stamp, and on the other side I've just brushed the paint onto the plastic. And this is what you need, okay? So you need to transfer your paint onto the plastic. Just do a little bit more. I'm just going to use one colour here, but you can use more than one colour. You can mix colours and make experiments. See what colours you can come up when you mix some colours on your plastic. So when you're happy with the result and you've kind of popped enough paint on it, it should look something like this. So step one, tick, we've done it. Step two, those Q-tips or stick or your finger. or anything that leaves an impression. You are going to draw on this paint, and I'm just going to do some lines across my paint. It feels very satisfying to do this. It's very smooth. Okay. More. And let's do this here. Okay, so now I will show you. So with that Q-tip, I have left some impressions, and now with my piece of paper and my plastic, I'm going to transfer paint down on paper, plastic bag, and gently press with my hands so it will be stuck. So the plastic bag is now stuck to the paper by the paint, and gently with your hands, you don't need anything else, just your hands, a bit gentle here, and don't rub along with very strong movements, because you might interfere with your drawing. So all you want to do is press down really lightly, make sure that all of your plastic bag is touching your paper, and then that's where it gets exciting. We are going to peel it off just like a sticker. So here it is, stuck on, and here we go. We just transferred the drawing that was on the plastic bag onto the paper. And this is how you print using a plastic bag. So I have used one color, but like I said, you can use more than one. You can experiment. You can do what I did. You can include your plastic bag onto your composition by just using a little bit of tape. You can make beautiful cards with them. You can make a lovely little booklet with them. So endless possibilities. Give it a go. Don't get too frustrated if it does get a little bit fiddly. It's okay if you get your hands dirty, and have fun with it. And please, when you're done, shoot through some images, because we'd love to see your work. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.